Coming up on Cedar Valley today, we have an exclusive interview with the recently elected student body president for the 2018-19 academic year.
A local fixture in the Waverly community closes its doors.
And we feature a Waverly resident's plunge into politics. This is Cedar Valley Today.
Hello and welcome to Cedar Valley Today. I'm Sam Sides.
And I'm Tyler French. We start off today with some rather sad local news. A longtime staple in the Waverly community has shut down its business.
Yes, the Waverly Palace Theater announced on Sunday that it would be closing down for good. First-year Wartburg student Andy Newell grew up in town, and he worked at the theater for the last about year and a half of its life. I got the chance to sit down with him, and he gave me some insight as to what the closing means to him.
There is some emotion involved. I haven't fully processed the fact that I have lost my job at the theater, or the fact that my childhood hometown theater has been closed. I remember when I was 4 years old, I went and saw a movie for the first time in theater, and I ate a bit too much candy and got sick and threw up all over the bathroom. Little did I know that 15 years later I'd have the distinct privilege of doing the same for another kid, just mopping up in that same bathroom. But, you know, there's a certain spirit, really, that I think is kind of lost to me now in this community. There's that place that I loved as a child and that I got to work at as an adolescent is past, and that makes me sad.
And many other Wartburg students will be missing the theater as well, because no more Palace means no more dollar movie night. Entertainment Tonight worked in conjunction with the theater to make those happen every first Wednesday night of the month. And ETK actually released a statement of their own on the theater's closing, saying, quote, "The Entertainment Tonight team is saddened to hear about the Waverly Palace Theater's closing, but we are so thankful for many great years of partnership with them. ETK will be brainstorming ideas for the continuing movie nights and another venue in the future."
Last night, Dreamers of the Waverly community gathered for the Dream Big event on Wartburg's campus. The Dream Big gathering took place on Tuesday night in the ballrooms at the Student Center. The program was put on by Pathways, and they encourage students and members of the community to continue to pursue their dreams, no matter big or how small. Mitch Matthews, co-creator and host of the event, started by giving a speech about the three main goals to working towards someone's dream. The last part of the event allowed everyone to see other people's dreams and offer support and words of encouragement.
The knowledge that so many people are behind you, wanting you to succeed at your dream. So that was really helpful.
The first few students who attended were given a free copy of Mitch Matthews' book, Ignite, which contains a few of the steps he talked about. Now, we'll take a look at the weather with Sam. Sam, how's the weather looking outside for this coming week?
Well, it's looking a little bit, it's going to warm up at least a little bit over the next few days. Starting off with today, expect some potential thunderstorms today, a high of 24 degrees. So some of that freezing rain, some of that rain could start to freeze on the roads, as it has been the last couple days. It's going to start warming up Thursday, Friday into Saturday. 30 degrees tomorrow. The sun is going to peak out nicely on Friday, so be prepared for that. It's going to be right at freezing temperature. Then Saturday, it's going to heat up to above freezing. Expect that snow to start melting just a little bit at 38 degrees. Back to Tyler.
In wake of the tragic high school shooting this past week in Parkland, Florida, students are taking a stand and demanding a change. On March 24th, people of all ages will fill the streets of Washington, D.C. looking for change. March for Our Lives is an organization that demands that a bill be immediately brought before Congress to address the issue of guns. The organization is created and led by kids across the nation who want to protect their schools and put an end to mass shootings in America. Celebrities like George Clooney and Oprah Winfrey each donated $500,000 to March for Our Lives. Clooney and his wife also committed to attending the event in D.C. If you want to get involved locally, the Americans for Democratic Action Iowa will also be holding a march of their own in Waterloo on March 24th at 4 p.m. as well. You can visit the March for Our Lives website to learn more about the march or donate to the cause. And to learn more about the local one here in Waterloo, visit their Facebook page at March for Our Lives Waterloo. In a couple minutes, we'll be back to take a look at the path to politics for a local Waverly resident and have more on the recent weather trends. Keep it here.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you're beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
That's
Welcome back. Well, the Cedar Valley is full of stories that are worth telling, and Cedar Valley Today's Ryan Riebenacker and Matt Ohl took the time to meet up with a Waverly resident and Democratic candidate for the House of Representatives, Eric Stromberg, to do just that.
Eric Stromberg today is a man concentrated and focused on his political goals. But that wasn't always the case. In fact, Stromberg didn't consider running for office until he was given encouragement by those close to him.
A couple years ago, we were at an event, a campaign event at Wartburg. I believe it was Bernie Sanders was on campus at that time. And we're waiting and we're talking about politics. I had a couple good friends say, you should really consider running for the Iowa legislature. And like I said, it was never something that I thought of, but it was, you know, a group of people whose opinion that I trusted, and they thought this would be a good thing for you, and you would be a good candidate for this district.
Stromberg's first plunge into politics took place back in 2016 and didn't quite end the way he hoped.
On election night, they had announced that I had actually won that primary. The next day, I got a call from the Blackhawk County auditor that there's an error reporting these figures, and so instead of being up by 16 votes, you're actually down by 30. So that was, you know, obviously a real gut punch.
After suffering such a close loss in 2016, Eric admits that he contemplated not entering a political race again, but then he was given just the sign he needed.
In this one night, I had 6 different people come up to me unprompted. I didn't go up to them or ask them anything, and they said, "You're Eric Stromberg, like you should run again." And I really took it as, all right, like this is, you know, if it wasn't for that, like that sort of encouragement and the kind of faith that people are are putting in me as somebody who they think that they would be a good candidate and would be a good legislator, then yeah, I probably wouldn't be here again.
Reporting for Cedar Valley Today, I'm Ryan Riebenacker.
It has only been 2 weeks since Des Moines last saw a pileup due to icy conditions. However, nature's cruel side showed through again as the area was struck with yet another multi-car pileup on Saturday. KCCI's Tommy Clark reports.
Well, after a major accident closed the interstate on I-35 just south of Huxley, it's back open 2 hours later, but not after some major cleanup.
Everybody just yelled brace in the car, and you know, we were up against the wires, and then you got hit 2 or 3 different times.
That was the reality for more than 70 drivers Saturday. This video from a viewer showing the immediate aftermath at 10:15 in the morning. This was the scene as emergency crews worked fast to clean up the mess of crunched up cars on I-35.
The visibility people couldn't see when they were driving. People were driving too fast, driving right behind the car in front of them. It only takes one car to spin out and crash into the cable barrier and come back into the travel portion.
A scene reminiscent of the same stretch of interstate 10 miles north not even 2 weeks ago.
Just unbelievable, these quick little half-inch snows. Just things get out of hand easy.
Scott Wilson says his family got caught in the middle of the chain reaction crash. He says there was no way to stop, adding it was like bumper cars.
It was crazy. It was snowing, and when we left Ames, we were just coming down the road, and everybody was moving maybe just 45 or 50. Nobody was going crazy at all, and then all of a sudden everything went taillights. And then you looked in the rearview mirror, and there was 2 semis coming, and they went right through the middle. And
the pileup cleaned up within 2 hours. A staging area at the nearby rest stop filled with tow trucks. A reminder for Iowans: look ahead, slow down, and adjust to the driving conditions.
That is the biggest thing, because I mean, look now, the sun's out, the pavement's wet, and 2 hours ago it was, icy, and the visibility, the driver that I talked to said you couldn't see more than 2 telephone poles down the road.
Reporting near Huxley, Tommy Clark, KCCI News, Iowa's news leader.
Getting a flu shot is the #1 way to protect yourself from the flu. However, it does have one other surprising benefit. Mary Maloney has more in today's Health Minute.
Got a bad heart? Get the flu shot. Experts say the flu shot helps prevent heart attacks as much as quitting smoking or taking medicine for high blood pressure. According to a Canadian study, elderly people who are sick with the flu are 6 times more likely to have a heart attack. Doctors don't fully know why the flu may lead to heart attacks in some people, but it could be the added stress the virus puts on your body. That, combined with cardiovascular problems, can be dangerous and deadly. According to the CDC, a good vaccine can prevent the flu in 40 to 60% of people. Even when the effectiveness of the shot is lower, doctors say the vaccine still decreases your risk of heart attack. So, to protect your heart, remember to get the flu shot. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
In today's Hollywood Minute, a music video that really pays, an actress ready to call the shots, and using a movie to rock the vote. David Daniel has details.
Anything you guys want in the store is free. Drake had nearly $1 million budget for his latest video, God's Plan, so he gave it away. Some $30,000 in groceries, $50,000 to a college student for tuition, and more to people all over Miami. On Instagram, Drake called it the most important thing I have ever done in my career.
Olivia, over the shoulder, Olivia.
Olivia Wilde is stepping behind the camera. The actress and producer is set to make her feature directorial debut with Booksmart. The story centers on 2 girls who are straight-A students, but realize as they're about to graduate from high school how much fun they missed by studying so much. So they try to make up for it in one crazy night. The massive success of Black Panther is boosting an effort to register black voters. The Electoral Justice Project, part of the Movement for Black Lives group, is registering voters at select screenings of the movie, which broke records this weekend with a $200 million plus debut. The effort's slogan and hashtag, Wakanda the Vote. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
After the break, we'll have a look at what's trending in the Cedar Valley, plus another look at your weather, so stay tuned.
I Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid. A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close. I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us. But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words. These are not my words. These are not my words.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
The Wartburg men's basketball team won a thriller last night, taking down the 4th-seeded Simpson Storm 76-72. In the win, Nate Wasey broke the school record for most career games played. Cam Kickbush set a new career high with 23 points, and Jaron Sabas joined the 1,000-point club. The Knights will next travel to Lincoln, Nebraska to face top-ranked Nebraska Wesleyan on Thursday night. Next Tuesday, the Cedar Falls will be hosting a cultural literacy event on mental illness in the Cedar Valley. The purpose of this event is to address some common myths surrounding mental illness and to spread awareness about how to seek out professional help. Tom Yukis of Unity Point Health will lead the discussion, which runs from 7 to 8 that night. The Kings and Queens Club will be hosting an open stage night drag show on Friday night beginning at 9 p.m. This is a monthly event that is held on the last Friday of each month. There is no cover charge, and the club will also hold Friday night drink specials. The show itself will begin at 10:30 p.m. For those looking to participate, you must have your music choice in before 9:30. Wartburg is hosting a Maze Illusion tonight in Newman Auditorium. Maze is a progressive music show that utilizes mystery art to create an environment where audiences are challenged to question what is really true. The event will be from 7 to 9 p.m. For more information about Maze and its background, check out the Maze Magic Facebook page or follow their Twitter page at What is the Maze. And now we'll go over to Sam to look at our hourly forecast and the next couple days coming up.
Well, starting off, as you said, with our hourly forecast, starting off 9 a.m., it's coming up pretty close. It's going to be 13 degrees. It's going to feel much, much colder than that, right down almost to 0. So that's how the day is going to start out. Then as we get more toward the noon hour, it's going to warm up just a tad, 19 degrees. It's going to feel like 10, and then 3 to 6 to 9, it's going to stay in about the 20-degree range throughout the whole time, and it's going to feel low to mid-teens throughout the rest of the day after the noon hour, so just be ready for that. Moving on to the 7-day forecast, we got into this a little bit earlier. Starting off with today, yet again, 24 degrees your high, and tomorrow expect some snow to start falling. We've had a lot of that recently, so just expect more of the same. 30 degrees tomorrow is the high. Friday, again, about freezing temperature. And Saturday, it's going to be rainy and a little bit warmer, 38 degrees. 34 degrees going on to Sunday, and then the sun is going to come out Monday, Tuesday. 39, it's going to warm up quite a bit on Tuesday afternoon. 47 degrees is your high for that. So it's going to be warm but not until after the end of this week. Well, coming up after the break, the newly elected student body president will be joining us. We'll find out who that is after the break.
Wake the sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid. A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close. I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us. But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words. These are not my words. These are not my words.
Joining us now on Cedar Valley Today is 2018-19 Student Body President-elect Josh Voigt. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having me, Tyler.
So, Josh, you guys won the election last night, got the call after midnight when the polls closed. What were kind of the emotions that were going on in the room, both waiting for the call and right after you found out the news that you guys had won?
Well, I think the biggest thing about the call was that it was extremely close. When we got the call, they were telling us the exact results. And I think it's incredible. We got around 53% of the final vote. So that in itself was enough to kind of stress us out a little bit. So a big congratulations to Strigley and Abby on the way they ran their campaign and how successful they were and everything that they managed to achieve. I think it really was quite special. But for us, I think as soon as we got the call, there was so much. There's so much going on. There was a lot running through my head. It's been, a couple of months been thinking about this. So just to have that relief of it finally be over and to know the result was a lot in itself.
So you mentioned that you've been thinking about this for several months now. What was this entire process like for you and Bree?
Well, it started off, we decided to run together because of how much we work together and what we've been doing as a team together. And so the process of getting to this stage has been quite long, and in everything we've been doing, it's obviously been looming in the back of our minds that this has been something we're going to be doing. So getting to this point is kind of just, like I said, it's relief, but it's also, we know now that this is where the hard work begins. This is where we now have to start putting in extra effort and moving forward with all of the plans that we have. And yes, as hard fought as the campaign was, this is where the real challenge begins.
So with that challenge starting, what are some of your biggest goals you hope to accomplish during your guys' term next year?
Biggest goals, we've got quite a few in terms of specific policy, but a number of things we want to work on obviously is, and in my mind this is the most important, is making sure that we are creating platforms in which we can be held accountable for all of the decisions we make and all of the actions that we take as the leaders of the student body. So we want to make sure that in everything we're doing, the student body is watching, and any missteps that we may make, we want to be told about that. In terms of dealing with specific things, we want to create a relationship between the hall councils and the RAs, because the RAs and hall councils work on fairly similar things, and we feel like if there was a combined effort in those, it could be a lot stronger. And then we want to try and make sure that we're bridging the gap between Senate as an organization and other organizations as well, because we know that organizations are where students thrive. And right now, there are direct lines of communication between students and Senate through their senators that represent them from their floors. But we want to make sure that organizations know that they can use Senate for those same resources and to bring up those same issues as well.
So obviously you guys are not going to be tackling this alone. With the other election results with Jenna Brenneman and Seth Jobs-Ryan returning as recorder and treasurer respectively, how do you guys think that the exec team is shaping up so far?
Well, I think the student body obviously elected them as well last night, and I congratulate the both of them. Again, very hard-fought campaigns, and congratulations to the both of them, as well as to the other candidates. I think for them, I guess I can't really speak on their behalf. I don't know their thoughts. I haven't really managed to get in contact with either of them yet. But I do look forward to working with them, as I do to looking to anyone who's going to be on Senate next year.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but you're the first international student to be elected student body president, correct?
I will have to check that, but I do believe that that's the case, yes.
So what do you think this says about the international students as a whole, and with the diversity of your guys' ticket, what does that say about the diversity at Wartburg?
I think the diversity at Wartburg is a very interesting topic. We've obviously been working on it the whole year, but I think for me, in terms of just the international students, I'm very, very thankful. We had a lot of support from the international students, from the international population. There's 122 international students on campus from 55 different countries, and we saw a lot of support coming through. We saw a lot of people putting up posters on doors, sending messages, posting Snapchats, and I think it's great that the international students are standing up and saying, we want, there's some issues in the international community that are going on that they want addressed. I know what those are. I know what I'm going to do to deal with those moving forward, and I think it's good that they're stepping up and saying, we want these things fixed.
Well, it sounds like you guys have a really good idea of what you want to get accomplished in the next year. Congratulations to you, as well as to Brianna Primus, our new student body president and vice president, Josh Voigt and Brianna Primus. We're going to take one final break, and we'll be back to wrap up the show here on Cedar Valley Today. Stay with us.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you are beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. The whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Thanks.
About his student body president win.
The Waverly Palace Theater closed its doors.
And students across the nation are marching for gun reform in the wake of the Florida shooting. Thank you so much for watching Cedar Valley Today.
Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to stay up to date with CVT. Have a great day, Cedar Valley.